There you are. One sec. God. One sec, excuse me. While I just make sure all the bits and bobs are in place. I will be with you very shortly. Just have to. I'm streaming across a few different platforms, and I just have to make sure it's all actually happening, not just. Let's see, forgot to mute the old computer. Okay, beautiful. Good. How are you? Good, I hope. Oh, well. Day going well? It's alright if it's not, but, I hope it is. Time for a bit of meditation. This isn't a class, it's just a chance to meditate together. It's part of the further emergence work I do. If you're not familiar with the further emergence, I'll explain a bit more about it when we're finished the meditation. But for now, if you're an experienced meditator, that's brilliant. Could you wait for a couple of minutes while I explain what I do, just for the benefit of people who are new to meditation? Because meditation is funny in that people feel like they should just know how to do it. That it's just one of those, it's like a social skill that, there's something wrong with you if you don't know how to do it. Now, I'm basing that on people saying to me, somewhat embarrassedly, what do you actually do? So, there's lots of different styles of meditation. This is just what I do. I've been doing it for years. It starts with why I would meditate. I'm trying to connect with a part of myself that I connect to every night when I'm asleep. Not the dreaming bit, I'm dreaming and then I drop at the bottom of dreaming, this is the bit I'm interested in, into deep dreamless sleep. And when I'm there, I've got no memory of being there. I've got no thoughts, I've got no personality, I've got no body, no country, no house, no nothing. I don't even have me, because I kind of cease to exist, certainly in the way that I normally register my existence. So, that sounds terrible when you put it like that. When I put it like that, it sounds like death. And yet, I love going to sleep. And when I wake up in the morning, I feel refreshed. So, some part of me knows that that's a good place to go to. So, that's where I want to go to in my meditation. So, straight away, if you're new to meditation, the first thing I could advise you to do is not do this lying down. Because if you lie down and you close your eyes, your body is just going to go, oh, well, it's time for sleep. So, you'll either fall asleep or you'll battle sleep, both of which are kind of counter to what we're trying to do here. So, yeah, sit up. You don't have to sit in a special lotus position or anything like that, unless you're comfortable sitting in a lotus position. I'm just sitting in a chair. Sit in a chair. Just don't sit in a super comfy, armchair that you're going to fall asleep in. So, yeah, a somewhat uncomfortable chair, semi-uncomfortable chair. So, as I said, my mind can't get to this place. So I have to figure out some way of getting around my mind, getting through my mind, or getting, like, parting the curtains of my mind. I like to think of it that way. So what I do is I make an arrangement with my mind. I say, hey, can you just not think for the next 15 minutes because we're going to meditate. Now at this stage my mind is used to the whole process, so it's like, yeah, fine. When you're starting out, you might need to give your mind some of the sorts of things that minds like. Give it some thoughts, give it some concepts, give it some ideas. So whether that's watching stuff on YouTube or reading some books about meditation, just give it some stuff to kind of be thinking about. And then it'll be much more on board for the whole thing, because the first time you meditate, it's really exciting. But then by the 10th or 11th or 20th time, it's boring to your mind. So you've got to give your mind something that it likes. So mind is on board, that's good. Next thing to do is stop thinking, which sounds hard, but it's actually, the stopping bit's easy, because regardless of what the content of my thought is, the structure of my thoughts are always the same. It's always pictures and sound. So if I turn off the pictures and I turn off the sound, that's it, I'm not thinking. And as soon as I do that, I'm into the practice of meditation. So the practice of meditation runs parallel with the intention of meditation. Now, I've already said the intention of my meditation is to go to this deep, profound, mysterious, still, calm, zen-like, all the words that you read about meditation, to go to this place, okay? The practice of meditation runs parallel with it, and it starts as soon as I stop thinking. So I'll stop thinking, I'll turn off the pictures, and I'll turn off the sound. Then some time will pass, and I'll discover that I'm thinking again. I go, oh, I'm thinking again, right? Turn off the pictures, turn off the sound. Then some more time will pass and I'll discover I'm thinking again. I go, oh, okay, I'm thinking again. Turn off the pictures, turn off the sound. And then some more time will pass and I'll discover I'm thinking again, and so on. That's the practice of meditation. Just every time I discover that I'm thinking, I bring my mind back to not thinking. That's it. Now, I'm alerting you to that if you're new to meditation, because it's easy to get the misconception from reading about it that in order to meditate correctly, you shouldn't be thinking at all. There should be no thoughts. Your mind should be like a lake and there shouldn't be a ripple of thought. That's not the case. In my experience, the two go together, the intention and the practice. They go together in a nice little dance. So sometimes you're very deep and still, and then sometimes you're discovering that you're thinking and you're bringing yourself back to not thinking. And both have their own power. It's very powerful when you're deep and still within yourself, and then it's also very powerful when you discover you're thinking and you bring yourself back to not thinking. It's just a bit more subtle. Because generally how it goes is I'll be thinking, the sort of things I think about are always to do with me. Possibly the same for you. So I'll be thinking, oh, why did I do that? What did I say that? What am I going to do about this thing? And where did I park the car? You know, that kind of stuff. Now, if I'm thinking about that, and then I suddenly go, oh, that's right, I'm meditating, and I turn that thought off, whatever that thought is, indirectly what I'm saying to myself is, you know that thought you were having, that you thought was you, and you were wrapped up in, and you know, it was wrapped up in you. Well, you just made that disappear. So you're not that thought. In fact, you're not any of your thoughts. You're something else. You're something different. That's pretty powerful. And then the fact that you do that repeatedly, that's pretty powerful as well. So I'm hoping that gets you away from the idea of like thinking is bad in meditation. There's no right amount of times that you have to, you know, there's like, oh, if you're bringing yourself back from thinking more than 10 times, you're doing it wrong. No, some days is more than others, some hours is more than others. It just depends on what's going on. The thing is, if you hold the intention that every time I discover that I'm thinking, I bring myself back to not thinking, you're doing great. Then it doesn't matter how many times. So, while I'm doing all of that, I'm also bringing my awareness to my body. I'm becoming more conscious of my body, and I'm letting go of tension anywhere I find it in my body. And I have a system for that because it's too vague. I have my eyes closed without a system. So I'm scanning my body from my head down to my feet, back up again, really slowly, really gently. And anywhere I find tension, I'm letting it go. And I'm using my out-breath to let it go. Because it's natural to just, you know, let go of the tension with the out-breath. And it's also a good way to remind myself to breathe. Because it's quite easy to hold your breath in meditation. Or stop breathing altogether. So the out-breath is good to kind of keep my awareness on my breathing as well. Nice breathing going on. Also, as I'm scanning my body up and down, I'm paying particular attention to anywhere in my body that, any structures in my body that go across, you know, transverse. Because mostly my body runs, you know, from my head to my feet. But anywhere that goes across acts a little bit like a log going across a stream. You know, it picks up all the twigs and the branches and the leaves and whatever comes down the stream, except in my body it's tension. So I'm checking my eyes. That's a transverse site. My jaw, my tongue, the base of my neck, my shoulder girdle, that can be quite tight. All my joints, so my shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers, my heart area, my respiratory diaphragm, my intestines, my pelvic floor, my hips, my knees, my ankles, and my toes. So anywhere I find the tension there, I just let it go. Breathe it away. If you have trouble breathing it away, sometimes if you tighten it up and then let it go, that can be helpful. That can, you know, unblock it, unlock it. Nice quiet room is very helpful if you're starting, you know, if you're new to meditation. Because as soon as you close your eyes, your hearing's going to amplify. So the quieter it is, the less things you'll have for your mind to trigger thoughts. You know, you're trying to help your mind with the not thinking. So yeah, nice quiet room where you're not going to be disturbed. Very helpful. The other thing I do to help my mind is I set a timer for how long I'm going to meditate for. That's just so that I've got one less thing for my mind to think about. So I'm going to set mine for 15 minutes, but if you're new to meditation, I'd encourage you to set yours for like 5 minutes, shorter time, and then repeat that 3 times. Because 15 minutes is a long time if you're not used to it. Okay, let me just check if there are any questions or anything. Oh, there's people saying hello. Great. Hello, everyone. Okay, let me set my timer. Timer started. Great. Off we go then into the mystery. Okay, if you feel like you've gone very deeply inside and you feel like you have to come back from there, you need a bit of time before you open your eyes, that's fine, just take your time. Or if you feel like you can hold the inner space and the outer space, then just open your eyes. And then if you do that and you feel like you've lost the inner space, you can just close your eyes again, reconnect. Oh, there it is, still there. Open your eyes again. Oh, lost it again, close your eyes. Go back and forth. Opening and closing your eyes. You can use your eyes like a valve. Okay, so that's, as I said, these meditations are part of the further emergence work I do. Further emergence is to do with growth, inner growth. When your body is growing as a child and you keep growing and then you sort of stop as an adult, but you continue to grow on the inside. And just the way your body might have gone through periods of accelerated growth, what's commonly known as growth spurts, you can have the same thing happen on the inside. And when that happens, it can feel disorienting. And they can manifest in all sorts of ways, or you can register that in all sorts of ways. Like sometimes it can feel like you're blocked, that's one way. Sometimes you can have physical symptoms that they're not, life-threatening or anything, but they're very debilitating. They sort of have this quality of putting the pause on your life. That's another way. It can feel like an overnight kind of change. Like overnight you can, one day everybody understands you and you understand everybody and everybody gets you. And then the next day no one knows what you're talking about and they think you're a bit nutty. That's another way. I've had people say things to me like they sort of woke up one day and just they didn't fit their life anymore. They just didn't recognize themselves in their life anymore. That's another common one. So yeah, I've been through this many times myself, and I've helped lots of people through it as well. So the work I do is to do with that. The meditations are part of it, because knowing your inner space is very helpful when you're going through further emergence. It's very helpful as well in advance of going through further emergence, because the more familiar you are with your inner state, the easier it is to kind of navigate through it, what can be a very disorienting experience. And it can, the growth spurt can last for months or years, depending on the person. Then I do a Zoom group. I do a weekly Zoom group. That sort of is, a chance to interact with other people who are going through the process. You kind of go, oh, okay, I'm not just on my own with this, or I'm not nutty. Because the thing is, it's a naturally occurring thing, but it can often be labeled incorrectly as something like there's something wrong, And what else? So more in-depth kind of meditation in the Zoom groups, chance to see other people, questions and answers, and then I work with people one-to-one as well. So that's a combination of talking and teasing it out a bit, and that's kind of in front of the scenes, and then I do kind of distance behind the scenes work as well with them. So yeah, if that sort of resonates with you, if it's like, oh, something in that, then, follow along on the different channels. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Further Emergence, just search for Further Emergence, you'll find it. Just follow and subscribe or whatever. Or you can go to the website. That's furtheremergence.com and read more about it. Okay, so thanks very much for meditating with me, and see